So welcome everybody to the Happy Healthy Hour. My name is Matt Jungers and I am an independent consultant and area manager with Arbonne International. And I am so excited that you are taking a couple minutes out of your very busy day to join us on this call to learn about our 30 Days to Healthy Living Challenge. So we are going to be covering what the program is, what the program's not, what you could expect in it, really to give you a high-level overview of the program. So my hope is that this gives you some basic information going into it. And then as you have those additional questions, please feel free to reach out to the coach who invited you to take a look at this call and make sure you have that discussion with them whether or not this program is right for you. So this is really just to give you some high-level information. Before we dive in, I'd like to share just a couple of minutes about how I got started with my very first 30-Day Healthy Living Challenge. This was actually back in April, and my supervisor was just starting her 30-day challenge. And she came into the office back in February, I think maybe March, and she said, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this cleanse, right? And for 30 days, and everybody in the office, myself included, we looked around and we thought, oh my goodness, right? We've been on cleanses, right? We know about these things. We were prepared for the worst. So her challenge started, she started her 30 days, and within the first week, we started noticing differences. Her energy level had picked up, she was in a better mood, not to mention she started dropping weight, and we could just tell that whatever she was doing was working. So flash forward to the middle of April of 2019, I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? I want whatever that is that you're experiencing, right? I want to give it a shot. So I got started with my 30-day challenge. And by day 5, I could tell such a big difference in my body. And to let you know kind of where I was at that point, I am 5'6", I'm 33 years old. And at that point, I was right at 200 pounds. I was not sleeping very well. I had very low energy. I would go to work, I'd come home, and it was all that I could do to kind of scrounge something up for dinner and then basically just sit on the couch for the rest of the day or the rest of the evening because I didn't have any energy to get through. So I was overweight. I knew that I had some inflammation that was going on in my body that just didn't feel good. So my boss kind of kicked my butt in gear and she told me I needed to do this. So I did it. I jumped in. And like I said, within the first 5 days, I knew that it was working great. So flash forward, we are somewhere about 100 days out and I have lost 34 pounds on the program. I actually did a run this morning. I did 12.5 miles. I did not stop the entire time. And gang, if I go back to April, like the thought of running even like a quarter of a mile is some foreign object to me, right? So I have had so much energy and just transformation in my overall health. And this is truly a lifestyle change that we coach you through in the 30 days. So that's some background on myself. And if you can't tell, I am extremely passionate about this program because not only did it change my life, I have been able to coach people along the way since then. And they have also seen similar, if not better results as well. So for some people, this may be a way to lose a little bit of extra weight. It may be to get some more energy. It may be to just focus on your digestive health or your overall health. And we'll take a look at a couple of things and you'll have to forgive me. I actually have my notes here because I want to make sure I don't forget anything as we go through this. But I'll give you some of those signs that you may personally be sitting through as well. Okay. So let's talk about what this 30-day challenge program is and what you could possibly expect with it. So this, like I said, is a lifestyle change where we really focus on health and wellness and a lot of education around the program. And we believe that knowledge is power in the way to do that. So we have been doing this for many years at this point. We have found a successful process to go through and we love sharing it. Now, what this program is not, right? This is not some type of fad or rapid weight loss diet. This is really about a lifestyle change and giving you the education so that you know how to make those small yet consistent changes in your life and then also the lives of your family as well for better overall health. The biggest thing that you'll also get with this program is really personal coaching. And for me, that is what I really appreciated about it. I had a coach along my side every single day, checking in with me, seeing how things were going. We were able to modify the program if I was having any type of symptoms or any type of anything that came up with it. So that personal coaching, just be able to answer any of the questions that I had and to go through that. And like I said, I enjoyed it so much that I now have the opportunity to coach people as well myself. So that's a little bit about what the program is and then what it's not. But what we do is we teach on 5 primary aspects. And the first is really focusing on eating clean, whole, healthy food. So probably the biggest question that I always get about this program is people ask me, so what do you eat on this, right? Like, are you starving yourself the whole bit? Absolutely not. If anything, we are eating so much food. Sometimes it's difficult to keep up with it because we are focusing on eating that whole healthy food to make sure we are powering our bodies with the energy that it needs. So that's step 1, is we focus on eating well. Step 2, we then focus on increasing the nutrition and the absorption rates in our bodies, right? So we start to repair our bodies so that as we put that good, whole, healthy food into it, it can make the most benefit out of that food that we're putting in. So number 2 is the absorption rate and the nutrition. Number 3 is my triple A's, right? We are removing the addictive, allergenic, and acidic foods, right? So the addictive foods, let's think about those for a little bit. That could be our coffees, our sodas, right? Sometimes those processed food cravings that we have, right? We remove that in the 30 days so that way our body can start to kind of hit that reset button and heal itself. Also, in terms of the allergenic foods, we remove some pork, we remove the pork, we remove peanuts, we remove dairy. And even though we may not be having allergic reactions to some of these foods, these are commonly known allergenic foods that our bodies just don't generally process very well, right? So what we do is we take them out of our diet for the 30 days to see how our bodies start to repair and regenerate without those in there. And then finally, also the acidic foods. Our goal through the program is we are looking to minimize our pH balance, right? Or bring that a little bit back to neutral in terms of what we're looking for. Sorry, that is actually my Arbonne package that I've been waiting for, so I'm so excited. Hopefully they'll leave it with my neighbor. So sorry about that. So we remove the acidic, allergenic, and addictive foods. That's the 3rd step. The 4th step is we actually start to balance the blood sugar. A lot of times what happens is throughout the day is our blood sugar is going to go on this roller coaster ride throughout the day. That's when we start to have those cravings, maybe for the sweets or different types of foods. We put that into our body, our blood sugar spikes, right? And then after a couple hours, it's going to go right back down. What we focus on is maintaining that blood sugar level throughout the day to give us better overall results. That's step 4. And then finally, the 5th one is we are supporting our elimination organs or our digestive health. We focus on our stomach and our kidneys and our liver, right? And rebuilding those vital organs that we've got. And we'll talk a little bit about the toxins, but that's usually where our toxic buildup is at, is around those key digestive and supporting organs, right? So we start to rebuild those and eliminate that as we go through the 30 days. So those are the 5 things that we focus on, okay? Now, why should you think about detoxifying? And this really stood out to me when I first started the program, and it's an analogy of a bathtub. So think about your body like a bathtub. The water that's coming into the bathtub can be representative of the food that we're putting into our bodies. And then the drain at the bottom of that bathtub is really how we remove the waste and kind of the toxins from our body. So the water or the food is coming into our bodies. And as long as that drain doesn't have a bunch of gunk in it, right? A bunch of hair or anything clogging up that drain, the water comes in and it goes right out. The problem, however, is though after time, the food that we're putting into our bodies starts to clog up that drain. And then we start to get water building up and up and up in our bodies or that tub. And eventually the water is going to overflow that bathtub. And that is when we start to get those muffin tops, right? Or my dad bod that I like to have. I'm not a dad, but I had the bod to go with it, right? That's what happens when we don't unplug that drain, is we start to get that buildup of that toxins, okay, of those toxicities. So we are eliminating those throughout the 30 days so that our body can kind of hit the reset button and get back to the neutral state that it needs to. So that's really why we want to focus on that. And some of the signs of toxicity can include overweight. It may also be just a general feeling of being lethargic, low energy levels, constipation, skin breakouts, right? There's a whole realm of different things that could be signs of the toxic levels that are happening in our body. So very critical that we go through this detoxification process. Now, when we talk about rebalancing, and we keep hitting the fact that this is a lifestyle change, it's not just a diet. Because when we look at a traditional diet, usually what we're doing is we're cutting calories, right? We're trying to cut fats. If you think about some of the popular fad diets that are out there, that's all doing it. Well, what happens is if we don't remove those toxins, they still stay in our bodies. So then as soon as we come off of that, right, what happens is we generally gain all of that weight back and the whole bit because we haven't removed the toxins out of our system. So compare that with what we're actually going through with a cellular cleanse. And by removing those toxins out, again, our body's able to regenerate and go back to the way that it needs to be in that clean, natural state. So that's why this is very, very different from like a normal traditional diet that you may have been. And this also sets us up for success long term. By learning about these things and learning about how your body reacts, you're going to be set up for success for the long term, right? This isn't one of those things that after the 30 days, then all of a sudden you start to you build that weight back in and if that's your goal, right? You keep this off because it's a lifestyle change to keep your body healthy. I mentioned some of those signs of toxic overload, a couple of the other ones that you may have, right? If you've got some hot flashes, gallstones are one of those things, just general cellulite, brain fog. That was a big one for me. I would kind of go through my workday and it'd be just in a general haze, right? I was doing work, I was doing activities, I was having meetings, but I wasn't necessarily giving it 110% of my mental capacity just because I couldn't think through some of those things. That's a sign of toxicity. And again, depression is one of those. I mentioned acne, acid reflux. There is a whole laundry list of signs that our body is trying to tell us when it needs to get rid of these toxins. So if that rings true for you, this might be a program to consider. Okay. Eating clean, right? That's step one in our process is of eating clean. So what does that mean? That means not bringing any of those processed foods into our bodies. I have had the opportunity to live in England for the last couple months since about October of last year. And I can tell you there is a huge difference between how Europeans consume food versus how we do as Americans back in the States. The biggest thing is the foods that are around here are generally pretty natural. They're pretty pure. They don't add a whole lot of things to their food supply. In the States, take a look at some of our ingredient labels. There's a lot of things that we're putting into those, right? So we're eliminating the processed food and we're eating the real, whole, healthy food. So during the 30 days, we're going to try to eat organic, non-GMO foods. We're going to try to look and see if we can obtain the free-range chicken, right? The grass-fed beef. Any of those things that we can remove those chemicals and the processes from the foods is going to help us out. The things that we want to eliminate are really the foods that don't serve us. So I know some of you are going to be a little bit nervous because one of the big things that we eliminate is coffee. We eliminate coffee, we eliminate soda, we eliminate alcohol because in reality, gang, none of those things are serving your body for a good purpose, right? We may think we want that morning cup of coffee, and believe me, I was right there. I was drinking anywhere from 3 to 4 cups of coffee every single morning, usually with a little bit of creamer in it. And then for lunch, I would have my Coke Zero. And then sometimes I would have a second Coke Zero in the afternoon to kind of get me through that afternoon slump. That wasn't benefiting me at all, right? So we eliminate those foods that are having that harmful effect on our body. We're also looking at what are the things that may be causing bloating, irritation, inflammation that's happening in our body as well. Again, let's get that out of our systems and let's let our body do what it naturally does. So a couple of things that you may have questions about. Refined sugar, right? What's the big deal about refined sugar? Well, that sugar actually continues the acidic state. And when your body is in an acidic state, that's actually where diseases start to grow and they start to come into our body. So we are removing those acidic foods. Remember, we want to go from a glycemic perspective, we want to go more to a neutral state, right? We want to get away from the acidic. Dairy is another one of those things that we actually eliminate because a lot of times dairy and dairy byproducts can cause a lot of bloating. They can cause gas. They may even cause some belly pain for us because our bodies don't really process dairy very well, right? So we get rid of that. Another one that we get rid of is gluten. I know that it's a big in the news right now, and there's actually reason for that. And because of that is gluten is difficult to really digest for our systems. It has a difficult time breaking that down in our system. So if it can't fully break it down, it actually ends up staying with us. Okay. And that's where we have some of that added inflammation that comes with it. Also with gluten is sometimes when we're talking about our immune system, gluten can really fight against the way that our body is trying to naturally defend us from any type of disease. Gluten can have that negative impact on what we're trying to accomplish. The last one that we want to talk about is soy, okay? Because soy is actually very highly processed. And again, our bodies are not processing that correctly in our digestive system. So we want to get rid of those soy products. Again, it can be very acidic. And then we also know that especially women, sometimes those soy products can have an impact on your hormone levels. Okay, so we want to get rid of those things. We're going to get rid of the refined sugar. We're going to get rid of the gluten. We're going to get rid of the dairy and of the soy. So I know you're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to actually eat? You're going to eat a whole lot of healthy food, right? We're still going to have our meats, our beef and our chicken and our fresh caught seafood. If you do that, if you're a vegan or vegetarian, the great thing is that we have menus that are supportive of that as well. And that's one of the best things is that in the 30-day challenge, you are actually put into a private Facebook group and we give you all of the resources that you need to be successful. So that includes the recipes, that includes shopping lists, all on top of the education and support that you're going to get from both the group and your personal coach. So all of that is given to you. As we're going through, right, we talked about making sure that we're going to correct our pH balance, bringing it away from the acidic state. We're going to balance the blood sugar. How we do that is we're going to eat frequently throughout the day. So we're actually eating every 3 to 4 hours throughout the day. And I will tell you, gang, that was one of the things that I struggled with during the 30 days is I even had to set a reminder on my cell phone to make sure that I had a snack in the morning and a snack in the afternoon because I needed to make sure I was doing that. And what we'll talk about is a little bit is our typical day and what that looks like. So we've got ways that we can customize it so that if you're working maybe 12-hour shifts, I know we've got a lot of nurses out there, a lot of busy professionals, maybe you're working 12-hour shifts, maybe you got a family, right? You know, you've got kids, right? How are you going to be able to mix this in with it? Don't worry, we got you, right? We have done this thousands of times before and we know how to make it work. So the big question, right, is how does Arbonne fit into this? Well, we've got products that are all alkaline based, meaning that we're going to get away from that acidic level. And they're also going to be non-GMO, right? They're all vegan, non-GMO to help us accomplish those 5 things that we set out to do. And then we also know that our essentials products just fit easily into our day. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what the day looks like. With the 30-day kit, you'll get everything that you'll need for 2 meals and beverages throughout the entire month. And if you break that down, that's actually a little bit around $8 a day. And I challenge you to figure out what you're already spending on some of your meals now. How many times are you stopping at the drive-thru? How many times are you going into the convenience store when you fill up? How many times are you getting those Starbucks, right? This actually fits really well, not just into your busy day, but also into those tight budgets that I know a lot of you have. Okay, so this is easy to put into there. Let's start with one of the key ingredients that you'll get. And this is our protein. This is our pea-based protein. You're going to get 2 bags of this. It comes in chocolate and vanilla, and this is 60 servings a piece. So that means that for 2 meals out of our day, we are going to have protein-based smoothies. And these are fantastic. They are loaded with just about everything that we need. They have a great amount of fiber in there, which helps us keep us full, right? Make sure that we're processing our food correctly. They are amazing. Now, I know some of you are like, oh, I'm not really a big shake fan. Gang, let me tell you, we get so creative with our smoothies. We have dozens and dozens of different recipes that you can make. One of my ultimate favorite is I love to take 2 scoops of the chocolate protein and I like to take some frozen strawberries, mix it in there with a little bit of almond milk, and you get this chocolate covered strawberry. It is amazing. I love it. Okay. But that's just one of the dozens of recipes that we've got. So you'll start your day off with the protein, right? So we add 2 scoops of this to every single one. And this works whether or not you've got a blender, whether you need to be out in the go and you need a shaker cup, we make it work with your schedule. So our protein starts there. One of the other things that you're going to get with that as well is our Digestion Plus. This stuff is amazing. And the reason why is it has your prebiotics, probiotics, and digestive enzymes all right there together. So as I talked about, one of the goals of the program is we want to kind of rebuild and restart our digestive health. And we do that with the Digestive Plus. You have a couple different ways that you can take this. You can either mix this with about 4 ounces of water first thing in the morning and just take it like a little bit of a shot, or you can actually put this into your smoothie directly and put it in with your breakfast smoothie and you're good to go for the day. So there's 30 servings of this, 1 stick for every day to get you through the 30-day challenge. And it's fantastic. Remember, this is how we're going to repair our gut health to be able to actually absorb those nutrients from the good, whole, healthy food that we're putting into it. So our Digestive Plus. One of the other things that comes with it, again, I know those of you who are still yelling at me about having to get rid of the coffee, are fizz sticks. Guys, these little bad boys are amazing. They are made with green tea extract and vitamin Bs, and they give you the natural energy push that you need to get through the day. So remember, I said I was drinking 3 to 4 cups of coffee a day, plus my Coke Zeros. These bad boys help me get right through it. Okay, so you're going to take a couple of these throughout the day. You mix it with water, you're good to go, and it gives you that natural energy push to get through the day. So our fizz sticks, they come in a couple different flavors. This one happens to be the pomegranate flavor, and it's amazing. I love it. So the fizz sticks help get through that. Plus, it makes sure that we're getting the right type of energy that we need in our bodies. One of the other products that you're going to get with the 30 days is the herbal detox tea, and this stuff is fantastic. You can drink it either hot or cold. What I personally like to do is I like to have it in the evenings, about 45 minutes before I go to bed. It helps me sleep right through the night, but this helps support the elimination of those toxins from our body, right? It's all natural again, so the detox tea. Now, a couple of other things that you might have as well is you're going to have the body cleanse. The body cleanse we actually do in week 3 of the 30-day program, and it is a lemon ginger mix. I don't have any to show you because that's actually what just got delivered at the door, and I'm excited to get some in. But you'll take that in week 3, you mix it with water, you do everything else the same, you just add that in week 3, and it helps give you a very gentle way to remove any of those hard metals and the built-up toxins, again, through the system. So we take that in week 3 because by that point, you have already naturally been detoxing for the first 2 weeks. We do that in week 3 to just give it support. And again, you will be amazed at how much better you feel starting in week 4 because you were able to get rid of all of that. Now, you're not going to be running to the restroom, right? It's not one of those things where it's going to force everything out. Again, it's a very natural detox process to get rid of it. Some of the other things that you might think about as well is we also have our fit shoes that are available. So if you have a sweet tooth, these things are amazing. They're basically like a little natural taffy that we can have a couple of these throughout the day. One of my favorite things to do is I love to have one of these at the end of the day with my detox tea. It's my little reward for getting through the day. I like to just take a moment, relax, and enjoy a fit shoe with that. One of my other things that I love is our greens balance. Now, if you are like me, where you don't feel like you're getting enough of the fruits and vegetables, our greens balance has all of the reds, the greens, the yellows, the purples, and the blues, all of that great stuff. And 1 serving of it is half of your daily vegetables and fruits that you need. So I actually do 2 servings a day. I put 1 in my breakfast smoothie and I put 1 in my lunch smoothie, and it's amazing. It's a great way to make sure that you're getting all of those vitamins that your body needs. So what does a typical day look like, right? Well, you'll wake up, right? And again, you're going to start the day with the Digestion Plus, and that's going to be to prepare your body. You'll have a breakfast smoothie. I usually like to make mine with a little bit of almond milk, about 8 to 10 ounces of almond milk, add a little extra water, just depending on my consistency that I like it. And then you can add some frozen berries to that. Some blackberries, blueberries, cherries, strawberries are all great options. And the reason that we focus on berries is because those usually have minimal impact on our sugar level. So remember, we're wanting to balance our sugar level throughout the day. So I mix it up, I put it in, and it's a great way. I sip on it as I do my commute to work, and that's my breakfast. Right after that, I'll make sure that I have about 32 ounces of water. What you want to focus on is intaking enough water to help your body process and get all of those toxins eliminated. So you want to drink at least half of your body weight every day in water. So for example, I was roughly 200 pounds. My goal was to make sure I had at least 100 ounces of water every day to help flush out the toxins from my body. Followed by that water, I'll have another 32 ounces, but this time I put that fizz in, and it gives me that morning kick to really get through the morning and make sure that I'm accomplishing everything. Remember, that's that green tea extract. It's got all the vitamin Bs that we need to get through. Then you'll have a mid-morning snack. And that could be, it could be some hummus, it could be some vegetables, it could be some mixed nuts, it could be a brown rice cake, right? Hard-boiled egg, avocado. There's tons of different options that we've got there. And we want to focus every 3 to 4 hours. We want to snack so to make sure we're balancing the blood sugar throughout the day. Then we'll have a lunch. Now, depending on your schedule and your family situation, you can do one of two things. You can have a second smoothie for your lunch, or you can have your whole healthy meal, depending on what works for you. For me, I usually do my smoothie for lunch. So that's when I'll have another 2 servings of the protein. I'll mix some vegetables in there. I really like to do the chocolate covered strawberry mix for my afternoon. We've got all those recipes for you. So that's the lunch. Then again, another fizz stick in the afternoon that helps me get through, power through the rest of my workday. Another snack. And then for dinner, that's where you get that whole healthy meal. And we've got all the recipes that you need, whether you're vegan, vegetarian, or if you want the meat recipes, we've got all those ready to go for you. They are really, really great. And the best thing is it fixes enough for the entire family. So what I do is on Sundays, I do my meal prep. I'll fix 3 or 4 of those different recipes. I'll have it all ready to go. And then that way, when I get home from work, I've got my dinner already. All I have to do is just warm it up. Now, one of the key things that you want to focus on is you want to make sure you have at least 12 hours in between your last meal and then when you eat again the next day. And that's part of an intermittent fasting that we do. That allows your body to, one, digest the last meal that you had, but then also to start repairing those vital organs that we talked about, your stomach, your kidneys, your liver, your intestines, right? That starts that repair process. So we allow 12 hours between when you first eat your last meal of the day and then when you eat again the next day. And like I said, usually about 45 minutes before I go to bed, I'll have my herbal detox tea, just nice and soothe. Now you can also do this in the morning if you like. This is a great replacement for those of you who are tea or coffee drinkers as well, and you can have it hot or cold. So that's really a sample day. We do it for 30 days, and your body is going to thank you by the end of it. I promise. Okay. So again, hopefully this was a good introduction to it. One thing I would have you remember is that you don't want to forget about your skin during this entire process. Our skin is actually the largest organ that we have on our bodies. And what I learned is that really our skin, the aging process of our skin, only 10% of that is really due to the natural aging process. The other 90% is all based on what we're putting on our skin and the impacts from the sun. So remember to take good care of your skin as well. And that's also where Arbonne comes in as well, is with our amazing skincare products. We can help you do the healthy living inside and out. So high level overview there. Couple different things that you can think about now. Get back with the person who referred you to this video, ask them the questions that you have and have that conversation, that dialogue, and see if this is the right program for you. I mentioned it's roughly about $8 a day, and there's a couple different ways that you can save on this right now. We've got some really great deals going on in terms of in terms of the 30-day kit, right? The first way is to become a preferred client. And this is the best way, in my opinion, to get started with it. It's a one-time fee of $29, and that gets you for the entire year. That saves you 20 to 40% off of not just the 30-day nutrition kit, but all of Arbonne's amazing products. So you're saving 20 to 40% every single day of the year. Plus, with the 30-day to Healthy Living Challenge kit, you're going to get free shipping. Plus, you're also going to get a free gift as well. Now, if you'd like to save a little bit more money and possibly even share the opportunity with other people, talk to the person who referred to this video about becoming an independent consultant as well. And with that, you can save 35 to 50% off of all of Arbonne's products, and you can then help others make those healthy lifestyle choices as well. So, gang, I hope this was information that was beneficial to you, I can't stress to you enough how much this program has changed, not just my life, my family's life, the people that I have coached throughout it. It has been truly transformational. Do yourself a favor. Get in contact with the person who reached out to you about this. Have that open dialogue. They're there to answer any questions that you may have about it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's your choice whether or not you're ready for this challenge and to really take control of your health. So I hope it's been beneficial. Thanks again for taking some time out of your day. I truly appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you on the other side. Love you guys.